Welcome to all of you that are here in this sanctuary. We're so glad that you're here. And we welcome those of us who are joining us online. It's a lovely place to be today. We are cool in the sanctuary, so if you're thinking about that's the reason to stay home, we are cool here in this sanctuary. We like to think of this center, the shining place on the hill, as a place where you can change your thinking and change your life. It is what we teach, it is what we practice, and we are so glad that you're here to join us today. So welcome. If you are here for the first time and you would like some more information about our center, our ushers have some lovely green bags that they will share. So if you're willing to just raise your hand, you will get one of those bags. If for some reason that's not what you want to do, raise your hand. You can get one at the desk after service, and you are welcome to have that information. So for now, let us rise for the congregational song, God is my source.
We're ready to wake up our bodies?
Sure is.
Am I on here? To do something. Check. There we are. God is my source. God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy, yeah.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need.
So I give thanks
For all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I
Peace.
need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need.
Back to God.
God is my source. God is my power.
God gives me everything I need.
So I give thanks
for all my blessings. God gives me everything
God gives
I
me
need.
everything.
God gives me everything
One more time.
I need. God gives me everything I need.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
So this is the time in our service when we open with a prayer that helps set us for this particular service. And we've already started with God is my source, and God gives me everything I need. God is the source of the infinite intelligence within me that fuses me and that infuses all of creation. I am part of this one thing all the time, and so is everyone and everything else. And so as I know that in truth and know that as a principle of my life, I allow that idea to flow through me without any consideration for any obstacles that might be on my way, because I have everything I need. It is a wonderful idea to start my day, to live in the truth that I am God created, I am God expressing, and I have an expectation of many good things from my mind, from my body, from my soul. And I know that there is enough and plenty for me and for everyone else. I give tremendous thanks for the idea that makes me whole, that makes me complete, and knows this for everyone. And so in gratitude, I allow this truth to be taken by the creative process and made the principle of my life. And I simply agree and say, and so it is. So now we're going to have some wonderful announcements.
To all, both here in the sanctuary and those on our YouTube channel, in the comfort of their home where it's cool, but as Reverend Catherine McKinney said, it's also cool in here. And our speaker today is Reverend Catherine McKinney, or as I like to call her, Reverend Mama. Sunday hospitality is in Richelieu Hall after the service, and the Women's Circle also meets today at 12:30 in the teen room. Rainbow School Supplies, it is back to school time in our area, and we are collecting school supplies today and throughout the week. I will be here to accept your either monetary donations or physical donations, and I would like to make my final trip down there about mid-September, so I would like to have as many things as possible by that time. However, I will never turn down anything that you will give, because anything and all things that you give are appreciated and welcomes there. Today, the South Bay Dance Club is having their monthly dance. It is the first Sunday of every month, and it is from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. This is a very well-known club, and the South Bay Dance Club is eager to have their dances be at our center. And you can check the flyers in our foyer for more information. The recorded discovery class, which was on August 7th, is available. If you have taken the Science of Mind classes recently, and you can apply for membership by seeing that video that way. And as a reminder, new member Sunday is October 9th, and you can speak with Reverend Mary Morgan in the foyer after service. And our annual meeting is October 16th, and active members may attend. So this is our way to kind of get you, to join our center and, come to that meeting. Our center is closed for Labor Day, Monday, September 5th. Reverend Kathy's book reading is Tuesday, September 6th at 10 a.m. The book is Giving God a Good Time by Dr. Pat Campbell, and you can check your program for more details. The yoga class meets Tuesday, September 6th in Richelieu Hall at 11 a.m. Bring your mat, and the cost is $10. Learn to Live is a book reading on Zoom on Wednesday, September 7th at 9:45 a.m. The new book is Learn to Live by Irvin Seal. It is a new thought interpretation of the parables of Jesus, and you can email the office for a Zoom link. Our next Wednesday morning service is September 7th at 11 a.m. here in our center or on our YouTube channel, and our speaker will be Reverend Kathy Sinfield. Walk-in dance-out dance classes begin Wednesday, September 7th at 6:30 p.m. in Richelieu Hall. There are flyers out on the table in the foyer for extra information. Just looking ahead so you can mark your calendars, next Sunday, September 11th, our speaker will be Reverend Catherine McKinney. And the Labyrinth is Thursday, September 15th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And immerse yourself in gratitude. On Wednesday, September 21st at 4 p.m., we are watching a film that promises to be a beautiful expression of life. It is an experience you have in community with New Thought centers across the United States. The center will open at 3:45 p.m. We take this moment to remind you that there are several ways you can donate to our center. We appreciate your presence here today, and we thank you so much for your financial donations to our center. And as a reminder, you can always dial a prayer at 310-540-5242, and new prayers are posted every Wednesday. And you may have seen him standing down in the corner, but now you get to see him in all his glory, our singer, Michael Paul Smith.
There's 8 steps there. Did you know that? How's everybody doing? So good. Oh, yeah. It's so good. It's so good. God is so good. Life is so wonderful. And I'm always glad to be here with my buddy Andy on keyboard. So, yeah, give it up, Andy. Andy, he's amazing. People get ready. Oh, okay. Is it? That's right. Oh, okay. So, Andy, what are we singing? What are we singing first? We're singing People Get Ready. What are you playing now? The second song. Sorry about that. That was a little humor for you. We do a little comedy on the side, so just so you know. The people get ready. There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is some faith to hear the deeds of amen. You don't need no ticket, no. You just thank the Lord. Oh. So people get ready. There's a train a-coming. It's picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is key. Open the door and board them. There's hope for all. Among the love the most, who's loved the most. Who's loved the most, yeah, yeah. For there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have a pity on those whose choices grow thinner. There's no hiding place among the kingdom's throne. No hiding place. No hiding place. No hiding place. No hiding place. So people get ready. There's a train a-coming. It's picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is key. Open the door and board them. There's hope for all. Among the love the most, love the most. Who's love the most? Yeah. For there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have a pity on those whose choices grow thinner. There's no hiding place among the kingdom throne. No hiding place. No hiding place. No hiding place. So people get ready. There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is some faith to hear the deeds of amen. You don't need no ticket, no. You just thank the Lord. For you don't need no ticket, no. You just thank the Lord. For you don't need no ticket, no. You just thank. Ooh, we're gonna thank. Yeah, Lord, we're gonna thank. We're gonna thank, oh Lord. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hallelujah and amen. Thank you. So just in case you haven't realized, this weekend marks the end of summer, right? Since we all 85, 90 degrees, we love it. So anyway, this month's emphasis is going to be put on work, and today is the good work. And so it could be helping other people, apart from your job if you are still in the workforce, helping other people, volunteering where we feel the need could be filled by our talents. And we're told that, you know, helping our neighbors and doing things like this helps ourselves as well as part of our mental wellness. Once upon a time, there was a very strong man who asked for a job with a timber merchant, and he got the job. Great pay, fabulous conditions, and he was determined to do his best. His boss gave him an axe and he told him where to start cutting the trees, and on his first day he cut down 21 trees. And the boss said, "Good work, keep it up." He's very motivated by this, but the next day he only managed to cut down 17 trees. A few days later, 10. And his output got lower and lower. And he went to the boss. He said, "I feel really bad about this. I'm not doing as well as I thought I would, and I want to honor you hiring me," and stuff like that. So the boss said to him, "Well, when did you last sharpen your axe?" He went, "Sharpen my axe? I don't have time. I'm busy cutting down trees." Sometimes we do that to ourselves. We forget to sharpen our lives with our spiritual practices. And sometimes we feel we don't have work to do time to do that. We've got that early appointment, or we've got to get to the job on time, or we're, I'll do it later. It doesn't work that way. Sharpening our spiritual tools begins with our daily practice. Ernest Holmes wisely said, even God can't do our job for us. Our work, whether we're part of the workforce or whether we're not, is to grow personally. That's our most important job. And the secret to beginning and maintaining our growth is to set up spiritual practices that work for us as individuals. If you try and do things the way other people do it, it mightn't work for you and it won't give you anything. But if you pick what works for you, what enriches you, what makes your day go better, you're going to be enriched, and you'll find that you actually have time to do it. So pick a practice. I have a list here. You can pick maybe 4 things to start with. Meditating for 15 to 30 minutes, creating movement by yoga or stretching, say affirmations aloud, pray or share thoughts with the divine, read a few pages from a book that feels nourishing to your soul. Perform free-form writing in a journal. Just write your thoughts down. Go outside and commune with nature. Hug a tree. Make a list of things you're grateful for. That should take you plenty of time. Do breathing work for extra minutes, a few minutes, and just see how it feels and how it relaxes you and how it prepares you for your day. Since daily spiritual practices work best when you start your day, be honest and realistic about what you can do, otherwise you'll soon get tired of it. If you can promise yourself 15 minutes, go for it. 45 minutes, fabulous. 2 hours, absolutely marvelous. But be realistic and start. Even if you're the hardest working person you know, you'll still fall behind if you don't do this. So be wise about the decisions you're making as well. Not keeping up with your life skills and not keeping those sharpened will show in your life, and your ability to maintain balance in your life. So I read a thing that said, who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. So I want you to share these words with me and say them aloud. I listen and trust my innate wisdom. When I trust that wisdom, I know that I'm taking steps to changing my life for the better. Good work. And happy Labor Day weekend. Stay cool, everybody. So.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
So if you haven't been concentrating all morning, you won't know who Reverend Catherine McKinney is. However, if you have been concentrating, there's no introduction needed. So I'm just going to say she's a great teacher, a wonderful mother, great grandmother, and we have to ask Bob about the wife thing. So I welcome Reverend Catherine to give us today's lesson.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy, and thank you for that lovely introduction into work. I really have delighted in this topic. It's the topic for the month, and so throughout the month, you may hear lots of different messages about work because it is such a broad topic, and we're also talking about good work today. Work is not a job, but work is an activity that we use our strength or our ingenuity to perform or to do something. That's what work is. And the truth of the matter is, most of us work the majority of our day during our lives. Different kinds of work. Kathy even alluded to volunteering and many other activities. Even those people who are retired continue to work. They're working in various ways. And one of the important things about good work is that good work is meaningful work. And it's a type of work, and it doesn't matter what the task may be that you're doing. You are bringing meaning, something that means something to you, to the work that you're doing, both to you and for the benefit of all of those that are around you. And that is what good work is. Years ago, I was at a teen advisor retreat. And it's a time when we had workshops and many activities, and we were in a workshop, broke up into dyads, and there was a man that I was paired with, and I didn't know him. His name is Brad. And in the course of what we talked about, he wanted to talk about teaching and the science of mind and communicating that. And what he said was, he says, I wish that somebody would have a class that could teach me how to talk about science of mind at work. And it seems he was in this office that was really large. It was filled with a number of cubicles. So a lot of the people who worked there interacted throughout the day. And he just felt so energetic about talking about science of mind, but he didn't know what to say. So I want a workshop, I want a class that will teach me how to do that. Now, I think that Brad just had the energy, especially of someone who is new to science of mind and eager to share this wonderful freedom that he was feeling. Because many of us come to science of mind, or have come to science of mind, from a tradition that may have offered us less freedom to think the way that we want to think. And I sensed in Brad this enthusiasm, this exhilaration, really, for having come to this teaching, and he wanted to share it. And do you know that Ernest Holmes had the same experience? He grew up in an isolated and rather insulated hamlet in Maine, and it was a Christian community. And even though his parents were rather liberal by the standards of the town he lived in, he still heard all kinds of messages, especially on Sunday, and he had questions. Who told you that? Why? Why? He was the youngest of all of his brothers, his 7 brothers, and they got tired of hearing him ask all of these questions. They actually derisively referred to him as the question mark. Well, that may have suppressed him somewhat, but he had those questions. He ultimately left home at a very young age, and he went to Boston, the big city, and he started learning about things. And by chance, he was staying on a weekend getaway, picked up this book that was on the coffee table, and he started reading Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays. And when he got to the essay on self-reliance, and he read that what you believe in your heart is what you believe because of the nature of who you are, he was exhilarated. Insist on yourself is what Emerson told him. He stayed up all night and he read that entire book and he read it again. He was exhilarated. And that is really what launched him on the quest to find out answers to some of those questions. I watched Masterpiece Theater for many years, and very often there is this sort of a commercial in the first part where the man who owns Viking Cruises comes on and talks about the values that he was given as a boy. And he says, but I've added one, be curious. Well, that is what Ernest Holmes was. He wasn't a question mark, he was curious. And he engaged in that curiosity. And of course, it led him to his work, which is the founding of Science of Mind. And we are here today because he was curious and because he was going for meaning in his own life. And that curiosity, I believe that is where Brad was. He just doesn't know what to do with it. I believe that we're all born with this curiosity, with this innate sense of questing for something. And I've certainly had the chance to observe my granddaughter, who turned 1 last week. But watching her most recently, when I was there, she has really enjoyed playing with one of those shape sorters, is what we call them, where you have holes in the top that are geometric shapes, and then you have solid pieces that you put in. Well, by the time I'm watching her, she has a little trouble getting the round one in the round hole. Yay, she says. And then she picks up the star. Well, she tries to put the star in the round hole. Well, it won't go. And so she keeps doing that. And so you watch that. She may put it down and pick up something else, but she comes back to it. trying to put that in there. Eventually, she gets a little frustrated, throws it aside, and does something else. But you see her curiosity is still there. She comes back to that shape sorter most every day, several times a day. I want to know how to do this. See, that curiosity is born in all of us. Maybe it's gotten squelched somewhere along the line. I cannot say, but it is there. It is not taken from us. It is something that we have. It is part of us. And so Ernest Holmes learned to pursue that. Ralph Waldo Emerson gave him permission. He read Ralph Waldo Emerson every year of his life, his brother tells us, because drinking that, reading that was like drinking water to him. That is what Ernest said. It quenched that thirst, and it gave him a freedom to know that what he thinks, what I know in my own soul, is what is true. And so I was thinking of all of those things. Yesterday, I was listening to an NPR show that's on Saturday morning. And one of the stories on there was about a pastor in Birmingham, Alabama, in a Christian church. And the topic was burnout, that he has burned out and has had to quit his ministry. But as you get into the story and the interview, he's burned out because he was being criticized for certain aspects of who he was. He's Armenian heritage, and his skin is darker. And he's received criticism in this church simply for that reason. Now, he understands that Christianity, to him, is bigger than that it's much bigger than that aspect. So he keeps coming back to the idea of that the idea of his teaching is still what he comes from, and it's what motivates him. And indeed, there are people at that center, that church, that continue to support him. Dr. Frank used to quote Edwin Markham. Some of you may remember. He said, and he quoted Edward Markham when he said, "They drew a circle and left me out. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a larger circle and took them in." And that seems to be the motivation for this pastor in Birmingham. He wanted a more inclusive way of thinking, a more inclusive way of bringing the message. But he kept bumping up against a number of critics, and he finally came to the conclusion that the criticism he was receiving was that he just wasn't putting enough butts in the seats, and that was his term. Enough butts in the seats because he wasn't white enough. It broke his heart. And so he quit. He was probably depressed. I don't think he used that word. And so at the time of this interview, he hasn't healed all of that. He hasn't understood that he's taking his star and he's trying to stick it in that round hole, and it's just not going to go. And somehow or other, he has to find a way to understand this in a different way. What he said was, in order to get past this, I had to sever my tie to my call to ministry. But I didn't sever the idea of what called me to ministry in the first place, my faith tradition. I can remain true to that, but he couldn't remain true to it where he was. Now, I don't believe that that is the end of his story, but I don't know that. It actually depends on many, many things and how he moves forward. But that idea to try to put myself in a place where I don't fit doesn't feel good. And it didn't feel good to him. And so when we have meaning in our lives and we have to understand the bigger picture, it may mean that we have to find that right place so that that meaningful life that we know that we have is someplace else. Ernest Holmes left his hometown. He left it and went to a different place. And in that questing, and he took away the parts that called him the question mark, he embraced curiosity, and he learned even more than he had learned before. And so can we all. We can all know more than we do right now. Goodness knows. Every day of my life, I want to learn more than I know right now. I had a wonderful, and I don't even know why, exhilarating experience after I left college and I was working. But I was watching or reading something that was just incredibly eye-opening, and I realized with a terrific clarity that I am never going to know all there is. It is not possible. And for me, that was tremendous freedom. That means I am free to just pursue what interests me, to find what is true in my own heart, and to know that what I believe is actually part of the nature of who I am. And I'm entitled to do that. And I'm entitled to insist on ourselves. You see that many of the traditions that some of us have been in and that some of us have left had rules. They had particular rules that you needed to believe this in order to do that. And many of us came from a Christian tradition. We may come from other traditions. The whole Abrahamic faiths are rules-driven. Moses comes down with the idea that thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Now, Jesus' message was not thou shalt not. Jesus' message was do it this way. But somehow, it kind of got lost in the translation of Jesus' teaching into the Christian faith. Because they came up with a real big thou shalt not. You need to believe this or you're going to eternal damnation. I heard that when I was growing up. And I knew that I didn't believe that. And I had to somehow be true to what I thought was true. And maybe many of you feel the same way, even if you didn't articulate it. And see, I think Brad had that experience. Those rules were put on him. And all of a sudden, he realized he was okay the way he was, and he had this urge to share what he was. Now, to make no mistake about it, Science of Mind has beliefs. They have definitely things they believe. Ernest Holmes listed 10 of them. But beliefs are not the same as rules. We have right on the front of our program that we don't have dogma, which is you have to do this to do that. We truly do believe you don't need a ticket to praise the Lord. And the man in Birmingham didn't think he needed a ticket, but he evidently didn't have the right one to be where he was. Ernest Holmes, in his list of beliefs, at number 9 is freedom. And it's freedom to think for yourself and to choose, actually, what you believe and how you express that. And no one tells you how to do that and tells you what to think. We merely talk about the principles of Science of Mind, and that is what we do. So when we're looking for meaning, Reverend Kathy talked about practices that you can engage in, and that is absolutely ways to learn more about yourself, because that's what you're discovering. And learn more about how you can be the star that you want to be. And you will find a place for your star to go. And when you go to work, whatever work it is, you bring that meaning to the work. It may be mowing the lawn. It may be volunteering. You may be serving coffee in Richelieu Hall, but you bring meaning to that. And you bring that idea. But if Brad is able to learn that, then he's bringing that. And toward the end of our conversation, I talked to him about the fact that just as he found resistance within himself to this set piece that some of his colleagues were giving, maybe he wants to avoid that resistance by not bothering to learn a set speech to say, but to have the teaching, the freedom, the understanding, and the principles to move through his life so that he lives those principles. And if he's open and if he's ready, somebody may ask him, what is it that you believe? And then that door is opened for him to share. But he's invited the question by the way he lives his life. And that, to me, is the best way to do good work, whatever it is that you're doing, is to find that meaning. The spirituality that we are longing for is always there for us. There's nothing that's keeping it from us. I always have everything I need because it's here, it's within me, it's without. I can even find that in others. But I come to that with an open heart. I come to that with an open mind. And know that I might not hear things always that I agree with, but I can find ways to express that and still be inclusive. Because that's what this teaching is about. It's not about excluding anyone. It's about including everyone. And when we can do that, most of the time, the work that we do is good and very, very good. I am so grateful that I have work to do in which I can be challenged every day, and I am. And I am glad for that challenge. And I invite you, whatever work that is that you are doing now or that you aspire to do, that you seek to rush toward that challenge, embrace that. And honor those people that are around you, that you work with, that you serve with, in that namaste way. The God in me honors the God in you. Good work. I invite you now to affirm with me. Spirit is my only source. I always have everything I need. I am open to divine guidance. The inspiration that helps me to know the truth guides my words and my actions for the highest and best for me and for everyone else. And so it is. And namaste. So as the ushers come down, I want to share with you one of the messages that we have gotten that help us know how we are fulfilling our mission statement, which is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. And this is the letter. Everything was going so well with me, not a care in the world. And then I got really sick. I live alone, and so taking care of myself was hard, and I was really down. I took the opportunity to look into one of our online things, and I was so surprised at how much it cheered me up. Just listening to voices talking so positively made me realize that I had allowed myself to feel sorry for myself. I'm just sick a little bit, and I don't have to make it worse with my own down thinking. I will be out again. I thank you for that message. So let us join as we bless the gifts that we are giving this center. As we say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And Michael Paul Smith.
If you believe within your heart, you know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still, and know that the moment you try, when you believe, believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic that's there in your heart. Believe all these things, not because I ask you to. Just believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, just believe in yourself, and all your dreams come true. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still, and know that the moment you try, when you believe, I know you will. Just believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic that's there in your heart. Believe all these things, not because Michael Paul asks you to. Just believe in yourself. Come on. Just believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself and all your dreams come true.
Thank you, Michael Paul, and thank you so much for your music. And Andy, our wonderful music director, as well as keyboardist. I appreciate that. And Reverend Mary is bringing us congregational songs. And so, before we come to the blessing, I've got a few things to share. Dr. Moira continues to improve. And I am, I'm so gratified when I'm hearing this. She won't be back until she's ready, and her care team knows that she's ready. Because this is a big job, I'm just telling you, it really is. And so I know I want her to be ready for this. And I want us to be ready for her when she comes back. So toward that end, one of the things that we are doing, we had a discovery class that Reverend Mary did a few weeks ago, and we are eager to know those of you who are joining on our New Member Sunday, which is October the 9th. Now, we are having a breakfast to honor those people who are joining this church that day. We will do this here in the sanctuary. I talked about the 10 beliefs that we have, and we bring those up that particular day. And it is such a joyous commitment to be a part of this center. And I know because I've been parts of the classes, I know there are people who have become a part of this center on the line and in sharing what they're doing without having gone through the class. They were taking Science of Mind classes, and they've joined in that way. We would like all of those people, if you didn't go through the honoring and the service that we want to give, please let us know that. Reverend Mary is going to be outside, and we've got a clipboard, and we would like you to tell us if you're just thinking about being a part of this on October the 9th. Because see, as I said, there's food. And so people who are cooking food kind of like to have these ideas about how many there will be. So you don't want to be short an egg or something like that. So I'm just saying that if you are even remotely interested, check in with Reverend Mary, ask questions about what she is doing, and find out what's going on. Because the next weekend, which is October the 16th, we are having an annual meeting here, and we have not had an annual meeting in 2020 or 2021. This is a meeting that's going to take in all of that, and it's important. And we really want all of you who are active members to be here, because we know that you care about what's going on in this center and how we're doing. So we're eager for you to be here. Sign that clipboard if you're not already a member, and come on down. We would love to do that. And so now let us close with the blessing. Dr. Moira wrote this blessing, and it sounds like Dr. Moira. And so as we share in this, and we think about the words as we say them, we are blessing the world. We are blessing each other and blessing ourselves as we say, I know divine love enfolds me. Divine light leads me. Divine life lives in me. Divine wisdom inspires me. Divine compassion expresses through me. And divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God. There is only God. There is only God. So let us rise and sing this peace song, that we know that peace begins with me, and we sing it with that enthusiasm. Take it away, Andy.